You know, speaking about information, because I mean, generally you talked about the fact that they have this robust meeting up there, and then you talk about what the feedback.
Exactly.
Now, it just brings to my attention the scenario that happened recently in Kogi, because while I came back, I then made a few calls. Look, what's really going on? The scenario wherein I think Boko Haram attacked DSS office. Some of the information and the backstory information was that, look, they put those people there. There was a police command, which was supposed to be, I think, zonal headquarters or so. They were not even aware that such caliber people were being held there. So some of them were complaining, look, if we had known, why didn't they tell us so that we beef up security? Or if they knew, they beefed up security, does it mean that Boko Haram overwhelmed them? So all those brought to the question about synergy. If they work together at the top, but is it trickling down there where the operational is carried out?
Let me just cut you short here. We once had terrorists quartered very close proximity to the presidency.
Oh, yeah.
And hell broke loose. What the Kogi incident tells me now is there was no lessons learned.
Wow.
Oh yes, a panel was set up. Yes, we are going to sit down. We're going to see how it happened, what processes. Look, cybernetics, how machines and people work. How did it happen? What exactly? You do what you call a post-mortem of this situation, then you escalate your findings and recommendations. So why would we have another one happen in Kogi State?
General, do you agree with him, or do you think that it was a fear of fifth columnists, for instance?
What he has said?
No, I mean the scenario. Do you agree with what he said, or do you think that it was a fear of fifth columnists that perhaps prevented them from sharing information?
Well, I do believe that information are being shared out there, but to what extent? You see, at the very senior level, we have coordination and regular meetings, but does it cascade downwards? Do they also have these meetings at the lower level? I think what Captain Umar is talking about generally is Nigerian factor, our attitude.
Absolutely.
We have like a lackadaisical attitude towards many things. And I think it reflected in Mr. President's address today when he was talking about attitudinal change. We need to change our attitude. Even security operatives who are at KPs and VPs, do they pay enough attention? Go on the roads, you will see those who are supposed to be controlling traffic sitting together, making phone calls and discussing. You only see them when an accident has happened. In other countries, you don't even see traffic wardens. You don't see them because the traffic lights are working perfectly. So a lot of things are not working.
Yeah. Let me even bring in this because it still has to do with the perception that people have of security agencies. And since you're talking about information, it's also very key because it forms, to a large extent, perception of what people will have about you. Lately, it does appear, because, I mean, at the time we look to the DSS to release certain information, it's not forthcoming. And you ask yourself, wait a minute, have they gone back to what it used to be before, where they thought that, no, they should just do their jobs, no talking, just keep it on the down low, because the one for Kogi, we haven't heard anything. Yeah. And several other incidents. What's going on? Are we the ones misinterpreting their actions?
No, you're not. Let me give you a line of thinking the average Nigerian can, follow on before I explain that. If you had a son who was crazy about your car keys, what will you do? You continue hiding the keys? No, he's going to drive his friend's car, and you're going to be no less worried when he's driving someone else's car. So what do? Send him to a driving school. Why would you? Yes, send him to a driving school.
So he doesn't bash your car if he gets the key?
Doesn't bash your car, so it becomes useful. Then you run him on errands until he regrets learning how to drive. You run from your car key. So you turn him to a useful, you know what I mean?
What if the son is underage? What happens?
No, if he's underage, it's a different
thing. Yeah.
My father hid his keys from us till I was like 28. That's why I'm telling you the solution, because I've been there. Now the DSS seems, or the intelligence community wants to hide information from journalists who are news hounds anyway. Why bother when you could actually bring them in and induct them?
And not indoctrinate them.
No. You induct them. Look, let me tell you something about media. Media is key to everything we do. Media is a big plus for the intelligence and security agencies. The reason is simple. We, as I told you, are creatures of habit. And because we are creatures of habit, we are open to suggestions. Anything you see us doing was first and foremost suggested to our subconscious. That is why corporate organizations spend billions on advertisements. They're actually entering you in ways you don't know, subliminally. And that's what the media can do for intelligence and law enforcement. You can hit subconscious Nigeria in, my God, I can't begin to say it. I can't begin to quantify the effects that the media can. Look, take, for example, CNN, with all due respect. Within 1 hour, CNN could repeat a particular thing 12 times, probably every 5 minutes. They're hitting you subconsciously. At a point, you'll probably be driving and you find yourself, you're not doing it, but something in you is reciting what was said, or a particular track or musical jingle that you listen to so frequently that it's in there. That's what you can exploit with law enforcement. For example, if we wanted to turn Nigerians to become, a little bit more vigilant to terrorism, the media. But when you have a Tom and Jerry kind of relationship, with all due respect, between the media and the law enforcement in Nigeria, they actually love to hate each other when they can't do without each other, just like Tom and Jerry. Then we are not going to get there. That's why I was talking about the media or the law enforcement. No, the media having desks. As many brands of dailies as I read, give them a desk in your...
Let me quickly add to it.
Go ahead, General.
If you take a look at our national defense policy, I think it's chapter 7 that talks about media relations. It's not as if these things are not there. They are there. But the question you ask is, are you having the right people in the right places in terms of actualizing those policies? And I think the problem we have really, it's not as if we don't have enough laws, for instance, or enough policies. The problem we have is with implementation of those policies. You understand? So if we change our attitude and this perceived fear among the various geopolitical zones in terms of, distrust, then we would have gone a long way in, bringing about the synergy of the media and the security agencies.
Let me still come back to you, General. Do you think that in trying to sort all of this out, bringing an amicable solution, the military still reaches out, or the agencies, security agencies reach out to some of its best brains outside when they're out of service?
I say again that it's about attitude. Let me tell you what will make you laugh. When I got your text yesterday night, I forwarded it to the Chief of Army Staff, telling him that I'll be coming to this program today. And he sent a reply, "Thank you, sir, I will watch it." But in some instances, you will place a call to your colleagues, they will not even pick your call. You send text messages, they won't reply you. So it depends on who is in that particular office at a particular time. I mean, I can say it with all sense of responsibility that the way we relate to ourselves in Nigeria is appalling.
Because we asked this question.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it's not even you, General. It's a concern shown expressed by most Nigerians. Yes. They keep asking the question. When you have, for instance, they do it in academia, in academics, so where if you're a professor, you're out of service, you're retired, and you still have something to offer, you're still within the service. So do we have such in the military to the extent that they can reach out and say, well, we have expertise in Mr. A, or a general this, or a captain, or an ex-sergeant?
Let me just quickly address that issue. the immediate past Secretary of Defense, I can't remember his name now. He was a sergeant in the U.S. Army before he left, and then went into business, and then later became a Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
What is his name? Can you remember? The immediate past, yes, Secretary after Panetta. He was brought in by Obama. You understand? So what developed countries are looking at is not who you are. It is what are you bringing to the table. You understand? The opportunities are there. Can you latch into it? You understand? It's not about whether he's still serving or he's retired. Any opportunity you have to bring experts together to chart a common cause. And I think it was in this program I told you that if America is facing a particular problem, they empanel up to about 50 experts, professors, lawyers, retired generals, to brainstorm, just like a committee system working together to advance solutions.
But you know, quickly though.
Let us add to that.
Okay, very briefly, because we're really out of time. Yeah.
Okay.
The best armed forces on earth are propped up by resource from the civil populace. And, well, the ex-servicemen are also the civil populace. They don't just lock themselves in there and think they can go with. The best weapons you see today that soldiers use are designed, produced, sponsored, manufactured by civilians. So we must begin to imbibe that, just in line with what
all right, Major General Muyiwa, Badewole, and retired Captain Umar, Aliyu, thank you both. It was very interesting having both of you here today. Thank you for coming on.
Happy Independence.
And happy independence to both of you too.
Actually, I didn't say that.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's it for this segment. We'll be back in just a moment, so don't go away yet because we still have to look at your emails as well. So stay with us.